starting tailback, so we'll see Terry Moorhead, a native of Waterloo, Iowa. So the local boy coming home, and he gets his big chance today. Pitchers for the ball game, the referee Glenn Fortin from the Big Ten, umpire Gary Kearns, head linesman Wayne Meese, the line judge Larry Thompson, Bob Colburn will be the field judge, and Dick Schnell the back judge. 60,000 fans on hand, the third consecutive sellout for the Hawkeyes. And here we go. Reggie Roby, number 7, will kick it off. Iowa 1-1, the Bruins 2-0, and this ball game is underway. The kickoff going to Willie Curran, 9 yards deep, and he'll not run it out. So we'll set that Bruin offense for you. Number 14, Tom Ramsey, will be the quarterback. 44, Terry Moorhead, the tailback, and number 42, Frank Bruno at fullback. Tim Reitman, number 91, the tight end. The right tackle, Lewis Sharp, 6'5" and 250. The right guard, Dan Dufour, 6'4" and 278. Dave Odie, the center, 6'1" and 255. Blake Wingle, the left guard, 6'2" and 261. Don Malstead, the left tackle, 6'4" and 245. And Ricky Kaufman playing split end in place of Cormac Harney. From the 20-yard line, Tom Ramsey under the center. And the first handoff is to the local boy, Terry Moorhead. And Moorhead gets up for a gain of about 2 before Pat Dean, the nose guard, number 58. And Mark Bortz, number 63, the defensive left tackle, bring him to the turf. A gain of 2 for Moorhead. And it's 2nd down, 8 to go. Moorhead, we told you, from Waterloo, Iowa. He has 34 people in attendance here this afternoon. Or where you are, it's morning. All right, 2nd down, 8 from the 22. Play action fake. Ramsey's going to throw. Got a man open. It's Ricky Kaufman at the 38-yard line. And that is the first Bruin first down, as number 10, Jim Frazier, the strong safety, a 5'9" senior from Waterloo, Iowa, pushed him out of bounds. So Ramsey 1 for 1 on that 16-yard pass to Ricky Kaufman. First down for the Bruins at their own 38-yard line. Willie Curran out to the right along with number 82, Mike Young. Ramsey calling signals. Dave Odie, the big cowboy from Bakersfield, will snap it. The handoff goes to the fullback, Frank Bruno. And Bruno cracks across the 40 up to the 42, a gain of 4. Left linebacker Todd Simonson, number 37. All Big Ten honorable mention a year ago. A 6'3" senior from Racine, Wisconsin, brought him down. A gain of 4. 2nd down, 6 coming up for the Bruins. Mike Young out to the left. JoJo Townsell split to the right. Play action fake. It is almost intercepted by number 10, Jim Frazier. The pass intended for 82, Mike Young. So Mike Young, a freshman from Visalia, getting a shot in his 3rd game of the season. Pass incomplete. Ramsey now 1 of 2. And it's 3rd down. 3rd down and 6 for UCLA. Just the start of the ball game. No score yet. Moorhead to the left. Bruno right behind Ramsey. Tom's got all kinds of time. The pass is intercepted. In and out of the hands of JoJo Townsell. And intercepted at the 38 by Bobby Stoops, number 41. His first interception of the year. Lou King, number 43, the left cornerback, was the man who upset Townsell. Bobby Stoops came up with the bobbling ball, and the Hawkeyes have it for the first time.
Now, second look, Joe, you can see that the ball really just goes through Townsell's hands, and Stoops is able to pick it up on the tip. It's a big turnover for UCLA.
All right, here the time the Hawkeyes have it. It's Pete Gales, number 12, the quarterback. The backs are Eddie Phillips and Norm Granger. Draw play to number 18, Eddie Phillips. And Phillips right around the 40, gets up to the 41-yard line for a gain of 2. See, I know you want to treat the beer drinkers, you know, to the very best. So the next time you have a guest, make sure you have plenty of cold Budweiser on hand. A gain of 2 for Phillips. 2nd down, 8. Hawkeye ball at the Hawkeye 41-yard line. Tom Sullivan, the strong safety for the Bruins, made the stop. And the Hawkeyes put up a big offensive front line. We'll get them to you in just a moment. 2nd down, 8. Play action fake. Joe Gary chasing Gales. The pass is complete. Number 27, Jeff Brown, the split end, did a nice comeback pattern, and he's shy of the first down by about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Number 35, left cornerback Jimmy Turner, there to make the stop. It's going to be third down and just about a yard to go for Iowa. Gales, the quarterback, is a 6'3" senior from Paterson, New Jersey. Had an outstanding spring, and that's what won him the job. He started all 3 games so far. Third down, about a yard to go. Eddie Phillips, the tailback. He's got the first down. It's a Bruin territory at the 49-yard line. They might place it at the 50. Ronnie Butler, number 86, the left inside linebacker. Number 2 tackler on the Bruin team, made the stop.
Second look at Eddie Phillips, really just got hit in the backfield, and then his forward motion just carried him on for the first down, and the big turnover giving the Iowa Hawkeyes the momentum at this point, Joe.
A couple of weeks ago, Nebraska turned it over twice early in the ball game, and that gave the momentum to the Hawkeyes, who now call a timeout. So with 12:05 left to go in the first quarter, from Iowa City Live, there is no score. Well, that gives us time to spot that UCLA defense for you. The nose guard, number 40, is Morgan. Carl Morgan right in the middle. Irv Eatman, number 75. Joe Gary, number 53. Glenn Wyndham, number 87. And Ike Gordon, number 92. That's the front line right there. 86 is Butler. 27 is Blanchard Montgomery as Gales drops to throw on first down. He's got a man open. Number 5, Dave Moritz, but it's slightly overthrown. There's Moritz. Number 7, Don Rogers, covering on the play. But Moritz opened for just a split second, but Gale's throw was just a little bit too far. And that Bruin defensive backfield at right cornerback, number 2, Walter Lang. The strong safety, 32, Tom Sullivan. The free safety, number 7, Don Rogers. And number 35, left cornerback, Jimmy Turner. Here come the Hawkeyes. Second down and 10 yards to gain. Right at the 50-yard line. No score in the ball game. 12 minutes exactly left to go in the first quarter. Eddie Phillips at the 50, and he's hit and driven to the turf after a gain of only 2 yards. And what a marvelous play by number 2, right cornerback Walter Lang, who stayed at home. Spotted that thing developing, stayed at home, and made an open field tackle after a gain of only 2. Rob, here it is.
Take a look at the Statue of Liberty play, and there's a lot of pressure from the UCLA defensive line, in particular Joe Gary turning around on the Statue of Liberty. But here's a great play by Walter Lang. He's got him in the open field, and Eddie Phillips now twice. This is going to hurt his confidence a little bit early on in the football game.
Phillips is their top rusher, number 18. He has 130 yards coming into the ball game and 31 carries. Sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. Third down and 8. Gales to throw under pressure, gets it away to Phillips, but he drops the ball. And Walter Lang, I guess, tailing Phillips all over the field. Lang broke it up.
So there's a lot of pressure by the defensive line for UCLA too. Carl Morgan and Irv Eatman were both in on the play.
All right, fourth down and 8 yards to go. That means we will see the nation's number 1 punter in number 7, Reggie Roby. Reggie averaging 54.1. Check it now. We have a new punter. This is a change, and a big one it is. It's number 3 for Iowa, and that is Tom Nickel. We'll have to check on Roby. He was the nation's leading punter. Nickel gets a line drive to Sullivan at the 10-yard line. He calls for a fair catch and makes it there, fighting the sun all the way.
Join the winners. And
on the left side, we'll get the defensive backs in just a moment. First down for the Bruins at the Bruin 11-yard line. Tom Ramsey calling signals, has his backs in an I formation. Harper Howell in motion to the sideline. The give off is to Terry Moorhead, and Moorhead picks up a yard, maybe 2, as he tiptoes his way through a sea of black jerseys. Left side linebacker Todd Simonson, who is as good against the run as anyone, according to Coach Hayden Fry. So 37 Simonson and number 43 Lou King, the left cornerback, combined for the stop. A gain of 2. Second down, 8 coming up.
On the replay, Joe, you could see the swarming defense of the Hawkeyes, and I think that's going to be part of the game, is who has the momentum.
JoJo Townsend split to the left side. And now there are 2 tight ends as James Forge is on the left, Tim Reitman on the right side of that line. Hand off to Bruno, the fullback, up to the 25, and he stood up there by number 99, Andre Tippett. And they push him back to the delight of this 60,000 fans in the stadium. So 99, Andre Tippett, number 31, right side linebacker Mel Cole, who led the team in tackles a year ago with 125. Cole, 6'2" and 230, a senior from Elgin, Illinois. So now it's 3rd down and a long 5 to go. In fact, it almost looks like 6 yards. The ball at the 15-yard line. Townsell flanked to the left, along with Ricky Kaufman. There goes JoJo in motion to the far sideline. Play action fake, and Ramsey wants to throw, and down he goes at the 12-yard line. Number 58, the nose guard, Pat Dean, put on the pressure from the backside, and number 63, Mark Borch, the defensive left tackle, brought him down.
Joe, UCLA ran a play action fake, and they tried to run a flood pattern to the left side of the field, and the Iowa Hawkeyes were right there to cover the pattern, and then the defensive linemen were over to make the tackle for the loss, and now UCLA in a punting situation in their own end zone.
Loss of 3 yards. Lon Olenzak, number 88, back to receive. It's going to be left-footed kicker Kevin Bunifay in the end zone, and they almost get it. End over end and rather short. Gets a Bruin bounce at the 40 and goes out of bounds near the 45, maybe the 46-yard line. The Hawkeyes are in fantastic field position. Back, number 88, out to the left along with number 5, Dave Moritz. Eddie Phillips sidesteps one man at the line of scrimmage and picks up 3 yards. Nice move by number 18, the sophomore from Chicago, Eddie Phillips. Number 27, Blanchard Montgomery, made the stop. Blanchard, a 6'3" junior from Northridge, attended Granada Hills High School. Oh, a gain of 3, 2nd down 7 for the Hawkeyes. Jeff Brown split out wide to the left side along with Olensack. Eddie Phillips, again, he sidesteps at the 40, picks up more yardage to the 38-yard line. So the right side of that Hawkeye offensive line, number 71, Paul Postler, and 76, the guard, Ron Hallstrom, doing a nice job of turning the Bruin tacklers inside. And Phillips takes that little jitter step outside, and he's tackled there by Butler and Montgomery.
I think UCLA going behind Halstead and trying to work on the place where Martin Moss usually plays over there, UCLA defensive left tackle.
That's right. Moss is on the sideline with an injured ankle. He's in uniform. Joe Gary, number 53, in his spot right now. Hand off to the fullback, the first man through, that's Norm Granger. Granger, another sophomore from New Jersey, gets up around the 35-yard line before Ron Butler and Tom Sullivan ride him to this AstroTurf.
It's going to be very close, Joe.
And referee Glenn Fortin calling for a measurement. That's how close it is.
National Lumber, the stores with the good stuff at the right price. Pick up on National Lumber's TV specials. You'll get your money's worth and then some. Look in the white pages for the National Lumber nearest you. Joe, Hayden Fry is pretty much of a gambling coach, and I think that this will be an opportunity for him. He'll probably want to go for it at 4th and short.
It is shy by about, I'd say maybe 12, 13 inches. The ball will be just outside the 35-yard line, so the Bruin defense will be tested early in this ball game. 7 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Hayden Fry after his 100th victory this afternoon. Terry Donahue after victory number 41 in his head coaching career. Here we go, big play, first big play of the ball game. Bruins put their big guys up front, 4th down and inches. Gales to Phillips. He's got the first down and a whole lot more. Walter Lang, Tom Sullivan bring him down along with number 92, right linebacker Ike Gordon. But the Hawkeyes keep control of the football. They have a first down at the Bruin 32.5-yard line.
Joe, big hole on the right side of the line, opened up by Postler and Hallstrom. Postler make a real good block on UCLA defense. Tackle Joe Gary.
Keep an eye on number 76, the right guard for Iowa. He's 6'6" and 286. Ron Hallstrom, number 76. He's right opposite Joe Gary. Gales to throw. He's got time, and he gets it away to number 28. Phil Blatcher at the 25-yard line, and Gales was hit hard by Lang and by Ike Gordon.
See the play fake in the middle to Blatcher. Now Blatcher gets tied up a little bit with the linebacker there, and Gales doesn't have an opportunity to throw, but here he just lets it go at the last minute. Very fine play by Gales. You see that UCLA was right there on good coverage. Good play by Ron Butler and coming over from his linebacker position.
A gain of 7, second down 3. Things are going Iowa's way so far. And off to the fullback, number 26, Norm Granger. He stacked up at the line and fell forward for about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Number 75, Irv Eatman, 6'6" and 260 from Dayton, Ohio, made the stop. And there's Irv on his knees, just getting up. No, they give him 2 yards on that play. It's going to be 3rd down and 1 for the Hawkeyes. No score in the ball game. Joe Butita along with Rob Scribner. 5 minutes, 50 seconds left to go in the first quarter. 3rd down 1. Blatcher, big hole on the right side. Sullivan misses him at the 20, and down he goes in the arms of Jimmy Turner at the 16-yard line. The Hawkeyes are on the march.
Here you can see the pitch to Blatcher on the outside. UCLA left linebackers getting hooked, and here's Sullivan trying to make the tackle on him. He's not able to get him, but Jimmy Turner pulls him down, but he's outside quick because of the Cook block by the tight end.
So a 1st down, and a big one it is for the Hawkeyes. They are at the Bruins 16-yard line. Play action fake. Gales keeps the ball on the option at the 10, the 5, touchdown, Iowa!
You see on this play, there's the fake inside to the fullback. Gales comes out, and there you can see Glenn Wyndham, the linebacker. He gets hooked, and the inside linebackers aren't there. There's the block on Don Rogers, and Gales has got a free trip into the end zone on the option play. Really what happened there is the offensive linemen were able to seal off both inside linebacker and outside linebackers of UCLA, and Gales had a free trip into the end zone.
All right, 6-0 Iowa. Ron Olenzak will try the extra point. Gordy Bohannon, the backup quarterback, number 11, will hold. There's the snap, and this one's up, and this one is good. 5:02 left to go in the first quarter. Iowa 7, the Bruins nothing. Back from 16 yards on the option play. Here's Reggie Roby to kick off. It's going to be Willie Kern, number 18, and number 26, JoJo Townsell, standing on their own end zone. It's going to Willie Kern, 2 yards deep. He's going to run it out at the 5, 10, looking for the wedge at the 20, 25, and slips and falls near the 30-yard line. It appeared that Willie put his head down and might not have seen that opening there, but it's hard for us to say.
Joe, that's what happens. They hit the wedge just perfectly. The wedge blocks had just been made, and Willie had an opportunity to see a seam there, and I think he thought he was going to get hit, and he started to get his body lean forward, and the block was made, and nobody hit him, and so he just dove forward for the yardage.
29-yard return. Bruins trailing the Hawkeyes 7-0. They are at the 29, 1st down. Ron Ramsey with Frank Bruno and Terry Moorhead. 2 backs and an eye behind him. Harper Howell in motion to the far sideline. Give it to the fullback, Bruno, and he's tripped up right at the line of scrimmage by nose guard Pat Dean. Huge hole on the left side provided by Odie, Wingle, and Malstead, but Dean read the play well, stuck out that big paw, and Bruno went down after a gain of 3. So 2nd down, 7 coming up. Keep an eye on number 58 right there in the middle of that Hawkeye defense, Pat Dean, a 6'2", 250-pound senior from New York. 2nd down, 7, UCLA. Terry Moorhead, the local boy, at the 30, and he's given a welcoming home party by the black shirts across the way. And Moorhead loses about 2 yards.
Here's another look at it. You see UCLA with a student body left there. You see Louis Sharp trying to block, and Moorhead's getting a lot of pursuit from the Iowa Hawkeyes, and he's not able to really turn the ball upfield. And what you got to do at that situation as a running back is decide that you got to get upfield.
Dean and Dave Brown made the stop. Loss of 2. Moorhead now has a -2 rushing this afternoon. He's in there for the injured Kevin Nelson. 3rd down and 9. Ramsey going to Willie Curran. A flag on the play. It's going to be pass interference. Curran is clapping, so we assume it's going to be on the Hawkeyes. And let's look at the replay if we get one and see who was pushing and who was shoving. Lou King, number 43, the left side cornerback, was covering Curran on the play. And apparently King committed the violation.
It looked like King was just riding on Willie Curran's shoulder, and the official, when Curran started this run again, I think King just grabbed a hold of him just a little bit. You couldn't even see it from here from our position, but you could see that Willie was trying to run and he wasn't going anywhere.
Things like that turn ball games around. The Bruins have a first down at their own 48.5-yard line. They trail 7-0. 18-yard gain on that penalty. Ramsey to Moorhead. Hit in the backfield by Pat Dean, the nose guard, number 58. Moorhead went to East Waterloo High School. Waterloo about 74 miles down the road. There he was a high school star in track, football, and basketball. In fact, he was captain of all 3 teams.
Where'd Pat Dean go?
Well, I don't know. But apparently he's got Moorhead's number this afternoon. No gain, second down 10. Ball at the 48.5-yard line. Moorhead again at the 50, cuts outside to the 40, 35, and out of bounds near the 31-yard line. Well, there's a bit of home cooking for you. They're going to place the ball at the 37-yard line as Terry Moorhead picks up 21 yards.
Real nice run. You see it's a counter option. UCLA, Tom Ramsey comes down, gets pressure quick, and he gets the ball out to Moorhead and gives him running room. Here comes Blake Wingle around to make a good block on the cornerback and give Moorhead an opportunity to get outside for a few more yards. He's hit out of bounds there, pretty clear.
All right, first down, UCLA at the Hawkeye 36.5-yard line, their deepest penetration of the day. Fullback Bruno hit right at the line by number 58, Pat Dean, the nose guard, and that is Dean's 6th solo tackle already this afternoon.
Joe, there appears to be some mix-up in the offensive line between the centers and guards because it seems like Dean's just not getting blocked.
His helmet hasn't even been scratched yet. 2 minutes, 37 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Iowa 7, UCLA nothing. And Pat Dean, number 58, the Hawkeye nose guard, putting on quite a show.
He's egging him on, saying, come on out of that huddle.
Did you see that? As the Bruins broke the huddle, Dean was saying, come on, get up to the line so I can hit you again. Number 58, Pat Dean. Second down and 9. Ramsey with time, and now he runs out of time, and down he goes. Andre Tippett. Andre Tippett, number 99, who led the Pac-10 in sacks last year with 20, registers his first this afternoon.
See UCLA running play action and trying to flood the zone to the left side again. Tom Ramsey not finding any place to throw the ball, and Tippett, who is one of the co-captains today, comes over and makes the tackle.
Oh, a loss of 5 yards. The ball just inside the 40. It's third down and about 14 to go for UCLA. And so far, they've done nothing offensively. There's Tippett, who misses Ramsey, but another Hawkeye gets him, and down he goes after a gain of only 2. Number 63, Mark Bortz, made the stop with assist from number 58, Pat Dean, and UCLA forced to punt it away once again.
So on that last play, the Iowa Hawkeyes came out in a little bit different defensive formation, and UCLA had great difficulty picking the rushers up from their offensive formation.
The Hawkeyes getting a lot of momentum on the sideline. Boy, they are excited. They played like this, I assume, against Nebraska. They said they played with a frenzy against the Cornhuskers last week against Iowa State. In their loss, they did not. They were rather flat. Well, they're frenzied so far this afternoon. Here's Kevin Bunifay. And Bunifay to Lon Olensack, lands at the 10. It's going to be down by Danny Lowler at the 1-yard line. Oh, another break for UCLA as Kevin Bunifay kind of pooches one over the line of scrimmage, and it lands at the 10. It's down at the 1. And it's the fullback, number 28, Phil Blatcher, and Blatcher dives over the line of scrimmage, picked up maybe 2 yards to the 3. He was met in the air by number 86, Ron Butler, and by 75, Irv Eatman. Butler, 232-pound sophomore from Greenville, North Carolina, and Eatman, a 260-pound junior from Dayton, Ohio. So this is a big series for the Bruins. If they can hold them deep and force a punt, they may be able to do something offensively. So far, the Hawkeyes have been outstanding on offense and defense. That was the tailback Blatcher running up the back of one of his blockers, as we have 5 seconds now left to go in the half, and the Iowa Hawkeyes call timeout. And with 5 seconds to go, we'll pause. Iowa 7, UCLA nothing. The Hawkeyes are going to punt, and there's number 7, Reggie Roby, the nation's #1 punter with an average of 54-1. And that's the way he kicks it, a line drive that goes to Sullivan at the 42-yard line. Tom at the 45, and down at the 40. So Sullivan with a good run back of about 21 yards. Roby gets a big punt away, 53 yards, and that's on the line. So Tom Sullivan returns it 21 yards as the first quarter comes to an end. And the score once again, Iowa 7 and UCLA nothing. The Bruins, they have not been able to get anything going offensively, Rob, and defensively now that last series of plays, they did stop the Hawkeyes, and that was good for them. On first down at the Hawkeye 41, Tom Ramsey kept the ball on an option play. He was wrapped up by number 99, Andre Tippett, and number 63, Mark Borch. And there's Tippett, Rob, number 99. What a mobile player he's turned out to be.
Did a real good job. Ramsey was coming down the line. He's trying to take away the pitch and take away the quarterback, and being able to do that makes a real strain on the UCLA option.
Ramsey got 2, second down 8 at the 38-yard line. Tim Reitman, the tight end, in motion to the near sideline. Ramsey to throw. He's going long. It's going to be intercepted. And fumbled at the goal line. The pass intended for number 36, Ricky Kaufman. It was taken and dropped by number 43, left cornerback Lou King. And I wonder if he dropped it on purpose, knowing where he was.
No, I don't think so, Joe. That ball was grossly underthrown by Tom Ramsey, and you see here that he was trying to make the interception because they'll just bring the ball out to the 20-yard line. That'd be a big interception for the Hawkeyes with UCLA having such good field position.
All right, so the Bruins get another break. And you just wonder how long their breaks are going to continue. It's third down and 8 at the 38.5-yard line. Down he goes. Pat Dean, the nose guard, number 58, made the stop. Ticket is number 59, Dave Brown. And Ramsey loses 10 yards. Dave Brown, number 59, and here it is.
Ramsey's trying to throw a throwback there to Tim Reitman, and also he had Terry Moorhead going up the seam, but Dean, who looks like an All-American today, he's in on almost every play for the Hawkeye defense.
So fourth down and about 1.5 miles to go. And Kevin Bunifay will punt with Frank Bruno calling the signals as the upback. Lon Olenzak, number 88, back at his own 10-yard line. And the left-footed Bunifay gets one. Olenzak waves. And this time it gets a Hawkeye bounce into the end zone. So the Hawkeye defense is playing stellar football so far against the nation's 6th-ranked team. And their offense isn't too bad either. They lead the Bruins 7-0. After a 37-yard punt by Kevin Bunifay. Is going to be Iowa's football.
At this point, the UCLA defense is really going to be tested once again. This is where they can take the momentum that Iowa has and turn it around in their favor if they can stop them.
There's Terry Donahue talking rather vehemently to Tom Ramsey. Bruin offense just rather non-existent so far this afternoon. New quarterback, Gordy Bohannon, number 11, pitches back to number 28. That's Phil Blatcher. And Blatcher caught back at the 15-yard line for a loss of 5.
It almost looks like UCLA right here. Now they say that we came to play. And here comes Tom Sullivan to take on the guard, the fullback. And then the UCLA team comes over as Sullivan does a good job forcing. UCLA football is sponsored in part by Texaco, who brings you quality automotive products you can trust.
A loss of 5, second down 15, the ball at the 15. 7-0 Iowa, 12:52 left to go in the first half. Joe Butita along with Rob Scribner live from Iowa City, Iowa. Handoff, that's number 26, and that's Norm Granger, the fullback, and Granger gets the 5 back. It's going to be third down and 10 coming up as Ron Butler, number 86, made him head on for the stop.
So UCLA's bringing in their 5 defensive backs, looking for a pass.
Interesting philosophy by Hayden Fry. Pete Gales, the starting quarterback, began the ball game. And in the paper yesterday, Fry said that Gordy Bohannon, the second stringer, would start. Would come in, I should say, in a prominent role. And here he is on the draw play. Fumble! And who's got it? It appears that the Bruins have it, but hang on. At least we're reading the white shirts. And the referee says, yes, sir. Football goes to UCLA at the 20-yard line. And the man who came up with it, number 55, Martin Moss, and here's that play.
He also causes the fumble right there, Martin Moss, and then he says, oh, here it is, and he turns around and comes up with a football. But there's an outstanding play by Martin Moss, who's rushing the passer, turns over and sees the Blucher coming with the ball right there, makes the tackle, and recovers the fumble.
So the Bruins get another break. It's about the third major break they've gotten this afternoon. They're at the 20-yard line with a first down. Ramsey. Good block up front. Ramsey at the 5. He's down at the 1-yard line. What a block he got from number 62, Ramsey. And that would be Donnie Malstead. Malstead opened a big hole on the left side, and Ramsey ran right behind his left guard. Watch it here.
Here's Ramsey on the option, and the reason why Ramsey's got so much room is, like you said, Malstead makes the block outside on Tippett, and the reason why that's occurring is because they're trying to keep UCLA from running the sweep, getting outside.
All right, the Bruins at the 1/2-yard line with a goal-to-go situation and a first down. Here's where it gets tough. It's going to be Odie against Pat Dean right in the center of those lines. Ramsey on first down. There's a flag on the play. So hang on. The flag thrown by the line judge on the near sideline.
And on the other side also, Joe. Both sides.
So perhaps someone lined up offside, or maybe there was movement in the Bruin line. We'll have to wait and see. But this could be a very big call.
Could be, because I think Ramsey thought he was in for a touchdown on the last play when he was tackled, and actually the ball hit the ground. He was in the end zone, but
offside on Iowa. That'll place the ball from the 6 to the 3-inch line. Still doesn't make it any easier to get over there from there, though.
Especially against that big guy in the middle,
yeah,
Dean.
Watch that matchup now, you folks at home. Watch number 58. He'll get down on all fours. Number 58, Pat Dean in the black jersey, and number 51, Dave Odie, the center. Dean will be nose up on Odie. They'll be helmet to helmet. In fact, if Dean is wearing contact lenses, Dave can tell you. There they are, nose to nose. First down again. Handoff is to Frank Cephas, and he does not get in, I don't believe. Cephas snapped up at the goal line by number 37, Todd Simonson. And a flag on the play across the way. At Hawkeye defense across the middle, Boritz, number 63, is 6'6" and 265. Dean, the man we're speaking of so often, is 6'2" and 250. Jim Picard, the right tackle, 6'4" and 265. The linebackers go 230 and 235, plus all the other big guys they put in on their goal line team.
So I think they must be just lining up offside down there on the goal line, the Hawkeye defense.
They're offside again. This time it's on the 1.5-inch line. And again, it's a first down. So the Bruins get, in essence, 4 shots at it, maybe 6 if they don't score in the first 4. And there's a touchdown for UCLA as Ramsey pushes it across. And again, the blocks up front of Blake Wingle, Dan DeFore, and Dave Odie right in the middle of that offensive line for the Bruins. And it's 7-6 Iowa.
And I think that Ramsey did a good job using the snap count that time, Joe. He went on a little bit quicker count. You can see here the Ramsey, they don't seem to be set yet. The Hawkeyes don't seem to be set, and Ramsey's in the end zone before they can get set. Used a quick count.
Now the fraternity brothers from Sigma Nu at the UCLA campus. Rick Neuheisel, number 10, will hold. Norm Johnson will try the extra point. Norm has made 41 of 42 in his UCLA career. And this is a big one to be sure. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 10:47 left to go in the first half. It is UCLA 7, the Hawkeyes 7. So it's 7-7, and Norm Johnson will kick off to a couple of Hawkeyes. Number 20, Glenn Buggs, and number 26, Norm Granger. There's a good shot of Norm Johnson. And there's Buggs.
Joe, we were talking about the ability of the UCLA defense to turn it around, and that's exactly what happened. UCLA took a little bit of the wind out of the sails of the Hawkeyes.
Well, the defense has had to do it so far. The offense is just non-existent. And we can attribute that in part to the Hawkeye defense. They're playing very well. 7-7. Here's Johnson's kickoff. That's going right through the end zone, as he is wont to do on many occasions. And the Hawkeyes will begin at the 20-yard line with a first down. Who Hayden Fry has chosen to quarterback the Hawkeyes. It's going to be the backup man, number 11, Gordy Bohannon, who is the better passer of the two. First down for the Hawkeyes at the 20-yard line. 7-7. A belly option series, and Bohannon goes for 5 to the 25. He put the ball in the belly of number 26, fullback Norm Granger, pulled it out and went for 5 before Tom Sullivan, number 32, made the stop. Sullivan, a 5'10 junior from Northridge. He was a walk-on to UCLA, 2-year letterman. So he's got a warm spot in the heart of Terry Donahue. Terry was a walk-on himself, one of the more famous walk-ons in college history. All right, gain of 5, second down 5 for the Hawkeyes. 10-13 left to go in the first half. Fake to Granger. Option again, and Bohannon hit by number 27, Blanchard Montgomery, and carries the linebacker along with Carl Morgan for the 5 yards. That might have got him another first down.
Joey, take a second look. You see Bohannon's coming out here, and Blanchard stops him right here, but now the UCLA defense carries him about 4 yards down the field.
And that's enough to give him a first down. So good first hit by Montgomery, who came over to cover. And then, as Rob said, all that weight pushing him downfield got him the first down. So the Hawkeyes are at the 30 with 9:45 left to go in the first half. Lon Olenzak split to the right, and number 27, Jeff Brown, to the left. Bohannon, play action fake. Goes for Brown. He's open at the 38-yard line. At the 40, Lonnie Butler tackles him at the 47. Another first down after a gain of 17 yards for Iowa. Butler, along with Walter Lang, number 2, made the stop, but Butler got there first.
It's just a little out pattern and pulls up Jeff Brown. Bohannon comes out, and you say he's the better passer, and he puts the ball right between the numbers for Brown, and Brown's getting upfield now. He puts a few moves on Lang, and here comes Ron Butler over. He doesn't really see him, and Butler makes the stop.
Was Brown uncovered, or was he uncovered? There wasn't a Bruin within 5 or 6 yards of him. First down for Iowa at their own 47-yard line. 7-7 is the score with 9:11 left to go in the first half. And so far, the Hawkeyes not having any problem moving. And there's a tackle by Blanchard Montgomery in the backfield on Gordy Bohannon. Blanchard penetrated well, got an arm out, and gets Bohannon down for a loss of a yard. So second down 11 coming up.
So that was a case where they ran the same play to the other side, and UCLA was in a little bit of different defense. They had the cornerback rolling up and the safety coming back behind, and the wide receiver was not open that time. It's a guessing game, Joe.
Olenzak and Brown, both wide receivers, out to the left side, as you can see the top of your screen. Second down and 11 for the Iowa Hawkeyes. No flags on the play, as number 28, that's Phil Blanchard, the tailback, tackled behind the line for a loss of 2 more. And all these Hawkeye fans simply don't understand the rules of football. The defensive line can move into that neutral zone as long as there is no contact made. There are no flags. So a good call by the officials.
I think the Hawkeyes feel like they were still in the neutral zone when the ball was snapped, and that's a judgment decision by the officials, and we're right here on the same yard line, and it was a difficult call.
Credit Glenn Wyndham with that last tackle, a loss of 2 more. It's third down and about 3.5. Check that, third down about 13.5. Little screen pass to number 28. That's Blanchard, and he slipped and fell in the water. There's a puddle of water on the side where that field drains, coming off the crown in the middle. And Blanchard slipped down at the 41. He gained, well, actually, he lost another yard. So it's going to be 4th down and 15 for Iowa, and they'll have to kick it away.
See on the screen pass that Blanchard slips up. Walter Lang's right there to force the play.
And number 7, Reggie Roby, will kick it away. He had a 53-yard line drive kick in the first quarter. He'll be standing at his own 25. Tom Sullivan back at his own 15 for UCLA. Roby's got plenty of time. There's the boot. A wobbly spiral that Tom will take at the 14-yard line. Starts outside and is hit at about the 17, and down he goes. So the Bruins start deep in their own territory at the 17-yard line. They are tied with Iowa at 7 with 6:47 left to go in the first half. Steve Bono, number 12, and the Bruins have a first down at their own 17-yard line. Pitch back to Terry Moorhead. He's in trouble, and down he goes. Boy, Iowa's got that play snuffed out, Rob. They've had it all day long. Dave Brown, number 59, and number 94, Brad Webb, the defensive right end, made the stop, and Moorhead just nowhere to go today.
Well, Joe, I think that's because on the sweep play, Webb is coming to the outside, and that's what's giving the option play up the middle the opportunity to be open. Toyota invites you to test drive the 1981 front-wheel drive Corolla Tercel and get the feeling at your local Toyota dealer. Oh, what a feeling to drive a Toyota.
That play will not count. There was a flag for illegal procedure against the Bruins. So it's going to be first down 15. The ball back near the 13-yard line. Ricky Kaufman out to the left side. JoJo Townsend to the right. Bruno, the fullback. Moorhead, the tailback. Steve Bono, the sophomore quarterback. Draw play to Bruno, and he gets up near the 15, and the big guy from Metuchen, New Jersey, drags a couple of guys 2 more yards to the 17-yard line. Mel Cole, number 31, the right linebacker, and left linebacker Todd Simonson, number 37, made the stop.
Here's another look at the draw, and I'm sure that one of the reasons that Terry Donahue wants to get Steve Bono in here before UCLA gets into the Pac-10 schedule is to give him some experience if something should happen to Ramsey, and so he's in there right now. It's 7-7, and they're down there in a pressure situation.
Ramsey is not injured. He's up and he's okay, just watching on the sideline. It's second down, about 12 yards to go. Bono puts his backs in an I formation. Draw play or straight handoff to the fullback, and that's Bruno, and he's stacked up right near the line of scrimmage by number 31, Mel Cole. Cole, a 6'2 senior from Elgin, Illinois, made the tackle along with number 59. You see him there, Dave Brown, a junior from Shaker Heights, Ohio. So a gain of only 1 for Bruno. It's going to be third down, about 9 to go, and the clock says 5:35 left to go in the first half. And the Bruins and Hawkeyes entangled in quite a ball game as the clouds start to come back over the stadium, and we may have rain before long. Now we see that Tom Ramsey back in the ball game at quarterback. On third down and 9, we expect a pass. Will we get one? No, we get nothing. Number 58, nose guard Pat Dean, who is politicking for All-America this afternoon, at least so far. It was Pat Dean who got Ramsey down, and there it is.
Pat Dean just coming right over the top of the center, Dave Odie, and tracking down the quarterback, Ramsey. That's just an individual effort. Great ability.
So far, that Bruin offensive line cannot handle the Hawkeyes, and it shows. The Hawkeyes simply overpowering the guys from Westwood. Kevin Bunifay back at his own 1-yard line. It's blocked. Frank Bruno trying to pick it up and does. And Bunifay has his punt block, the first block this year of a UCLA punt.
UCLA was very fortunate to have that punt go downfield as opposed to go back into the end zone where it would have been a touchdown if it would have been recovered by the Hawkeyes.
43, Lou King was credited with the block. And the Hawkeyes get sensational field position at the Bruin 26-yard line. Breakdown after breakdown for UCLA this afternoon. They scored after they caused a turnover. Martin Moss causing a fumble, then recovering a fumble at the 20-yard line. 2 plays later, they scored. But so far, the offense has been stuffed by the Hawkeyes. 4 minutes, 28 seconds left to go in the first half. 7-7. Gordy Bohannon will quarterback the Hawkeyes from the 26. Man open, Olenzak. It's intercepted by Tom Sullivan in the end zone. Well, there's that Bruin defense giving the ball back to the offense again as Tom Sullivan gets his 3rd interception of the year, number 8 in his career.
There's Tom.
The intended receiver is 88, Lon Olenzak, and here's a look at that play, Rob.
Bohannon was trying to look Sullivan off, and Sullivan didn't look like he was in position to make the play. Came over and made a great play. The ball just hung up in the air a little bit too long. Data General is the computer company chosen by 77 of America's top 100 companies. Data General, we engineer the anxiety out of computers.
All right, the onus is on the UCLA offensive line. So far, they have not handled the Hawkeye defenders. First down from the 20. Frank Cephas, the fullback, and he gets nothing, absolutely nothing. And there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 black shirts around Cephas. 9 Hawkeyes tackled the Bruin fullback.
We take another look at it. Cephas tries to jump to the outside. Number 37, Tom Simonson, gets in on the first hit, and then it's just a wave of black and gold Hawkeyes.
Boy, they're doing a job so far. 7-7. The score tied. The Hawkeyes scored in the first quarter, UCLA in the second quarter. There are 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the half. And we are in a dogfight in Iowa City. Second down and 10. Little bit of a mix-up, and there's a fumble. Tom Ramsey looked very confused that time. He was being confronted by a defender and really hesitated before he pitched the ball, and that caused the fumble. Here it is.
See, Ramsey comes around. Bortz there just about makes the play on Ramsey, and it comes off. When Ramsey makes the pitch, the fullback and the tailback haven't got the separation between them yet, and the ball hit the fullback's shoulder, and then Moorhead was able to come over and make the recovery of the fumble.
Cephas was the fullback there. Moorhead, the tailback, was supposed to get the football, but he had no chance the way it was pitched. And now we get a timeout on the field. And it's called by the Bruins. Boy, do they need it. Ramsey, a minus.
Offense rolling.
Third down, 12 yards to go. The Bruins back at their own 17-yard line. Dave Odie will snap to Tom Ramsey as Tim Reitman goes in motion. It's intended for JoJo Townsell, and he was bumped going for the ball, but there are no flags on the play. The Bruins just turn it over once again. It's going to be 4th down and 13, and Kevin Bunifay, who had a punt blocked the last time he tried it, is back in there to punt.
There's Ramsey's pass, and Frazier went for the interception, and JoJo Townsell didn't get a real good look at the ball and went through his hands.
Bunifay standing at his own 3-yard line this time. Last time he kicked, he was at his own 1 and had it blocked by number 43, Lou King. So keep an eye on 43. He's lined up to the right of your screen on the lower portion. Bunifay gets it away. Lon Olenzak calling for a fair catch at the 36-yard line and makes it there. So Bunifay gets a 51-yarder. What a marvelous performance by young Kevin Bunifay. Just Hayden Fry choosing to go with Bohannon the rest of the way, perhaps. First down at the 36. Pass intended for number 26, fullback Norm Granger. And that's incomplete, so the clock is stopped with 2:41. Donnie Rogers and Tom Sullivan covering on the play, and there you see 28 or 26, the intended receiver, Norm Granger. All right, second down and 10. Dave Moritz comes to the right side. Lon Olenzak, number 88, split to the left side. Second down 10 from the Hawkeye 36-yard line. Boy, Bohannon's got all kinds of time. He also has Moritz wide open, and it's overthrown. Oh, number 5, Dave Moritz, could have been home free with a touchdown, as neither Sullivan or Rogers was near enough to knock that pass away. But Bohannon simply overthrew him.
So that was a defense in which the safeties were playing half of the field, and like you said, Sullivan had one half of the field and Rogers had the other. A lot of times you have 3 deep. That was 2 deep in the 2 deep zones, and you want to split that. That was a perfect call. Really, a lot of times you get your tight end going up the middle there. There he had his wide receiver Moritz, and almost big play for Hawkeyes.
The Bruins do play a zone defense in the backfield there, so there are seams, and the Hawkeyes trying to find them. They found one there, but they couldn't get the ball to Dave Moritz. Third down and 10 from the 36. Bohannon's got time. Now Moss and Morgan chasing him, as so is Irv Eatman, and he runs out of bounds as Mike Durden, number 29, gives him a little bit of a forearm on the sideline.
That was one of those hits that couldn't be, you know, they're both coming from both directions, just not enough room over there.
It was a self-defense kind of thing. They say he ran out of bounds at the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 4th down and 10 yards to go, and the Bruin defense holds once again.
Great job by UCLA defense at this point in the game. It seems like that Iowa still has a little bit of the momentum, but now UCLA starting to turn it around.
There's that man, Reggie Roby, number 7, 6'3" junior. Number 4 punter in the Big Ten last year. He's number 1 in the nation right now with an average of 54-1. Tom Sullivan back in single safety for the Bruins, and Roby gets a gorgeous one away. It lands in the end zone. Holy mackerel. A 65-yard punt on a fly by Reggie Roby, and that was a line drive. Imagine if he could get any hang time, how far that thing would go.
Joe, that one's only going to net about 45, though.
First down for the Bruins at their own 20-yard line. 2:19 left to go in the half. It's 7-7, and Ramsey back in at quarterback. Willie Curran on a flanker reverse, and he's stuffed at the 19-yard line for a loss of 1. Number 37, Todd Simonson, the left side linebacker, did his job well, stayed home, and got him down for a loss of 1.
Take another look at it. Here's Ramsey handing it off to Willie Curran on the reverse, and Curran looks and sees that he has a seam right there, but here comes Simonson over, along with number 37 to make the tackle. That's Simonson's 37.
Does it appear to you that these plays are taking a long time to develop?
Yeah, it does.
There's no real punch, no quickness out there in the Bruin offense so far.
See, now there's Hawkeyes have 7 men on the line of scrimmage.
Moorhead caught at the line of scrimmage by number 58. Guess who that is? The nose guard, Pat Dean. Isn't he something? Dean must have, so far in the ball game, 8 solo tackles, and here it is again. Watch this individual effort fighting off Dave Odie, the center, and he puts Moorhead down at the line of scrimmage. So no gain, 3rd down, 11 coming up.
Well, he's stalking.
Oh, he is something. 6'2" and 250, a senior from New York. All Big Ten, second team a year ago. Today he's all world. Obvious passing situation, and Ramsey better get out of the way. Down he goes again. And once again, it is 59, Dave Brown. So 58 and 59 putting on quite a show for the Hawkeyes this afternoon, and Ramsey just nowhere to go, nowhere to throw. And the Hawkeyes now call a timeout with 48 seconds left to go. Sophomore punter for the Bruins, Kevin Bunifay. Last time he kicked, he had a 51-yarder. The time before that, he had one blocked. And luckily, the ball bounced outside the other way, and the Hawkeyes were not able to capitalize. They came back in the first play, and Tom Sullivan intercepted the ball right back. So the Bruin defense has been marvelous. The Bruin offense, I don't even know if they came on the trip yet.
You know, Ramsey hadn't been sacked until this game.
Hawkeyes doing a great job on defense. So give credit to them. Here's Bunifay's punt. Almost off the side of his foot. Olenzak at the 50-yard line, and he's hit right away by number 20, Larry Thomas. At halftime. Right now, 40 seconds left to go until halftime. And the Hawkeyes at the Bruin 48-yard line. Score tied 7-7. Gordy Bohannon dropping straight back and looking. And Joe Gary gets a hold of him and puts him down as Danny Lauder nearly come up with an interception. But a fine job by number 53, Joe Gary, and Bohannon had the presence of mind to dump the ball. That used up 6 seconds. There are now 34 seconds left to go in the first half.
Still, it seemed that Bohannon had quite a bit of time to get the ball off and find a receiver.
He certainly did. Iowa 1-1. They beat Nebraska 2 weeks ago in quite an upset. Then lost to Iowa State last week. Bruins 2-0. Wins over Arizona and Wisconsin. Second down 10. Bohannon complete to number 28. And that is Phil Blatcher, the tailback, out around the 40-yard line. Not enough for the first down, but he ran out of bounds to stop the clock at 27 seconds. Number 29, Mike Durden, got him out of bounds. Well, the play good for about 7 yards. It's 3rd down and 3. Dave Oakes, the big center from Mason City, Iowa, 6'3" and 235 over the ball. Gives it to Bohannon, who's going to throw. It's complete to number 28, Blatcher, and the Hawkeyes have a first down with 22 seconds left to go, and the clock stopped only to change the chains. Blanchard Montgomery, number 27, and Walter Lang, number 2 in a white jersey, made the stop.
Well, here's the play that UCLA has been stung by all year. It's just a halfback coming out of the backfield, nobody picking him up quick. That gives the opportunity for the offense of the Hawkeyes to pick up a first down.
22 seconds left to go. The Hawkeyes at the Bruin 33. Oh, what a hit by Walter Lang. The pass was complete to number 28, Phil Blatcher, and Walter Lang was in his face mask the same time the ball got there. So credit little Walter, 5'9" and 175 with a tremendous hit.
You judge right here. Here's Blucher. Does he catch the ball or not? Boy, Lang makes a great... You know, Lang's not a big guy, but he packs a punch.
That's Walter's 7th tackle of the afternoon. 11 seconds left to go. Second down 10. Iowa has the ball at the UCLA 33-yard line. Scores tied at 7-7. This will be a big lift to either team. It'll be a big lift to Iowa if they score, and of course to the Bruin defense if they can hold them. Bohannon brought down by Irv Eatman, but gets it away to Olenczak, who drops the football. Lon Olenczak had the football, a great individual effort by Gordy Bohannon. Irv Eatman was all over his back, and Bohannon still got the ball away, and Olenczak nearly made the reception. So now we're going to get a field goal try. This kick will be from the 40-yard line. It'll be a 50-yard attempt. Tom Nickel, number 3, Tom Nickel will kick it. Gordy Bohannon will hold. A 50-yard attempt by Tom Nickel. 5 seconds left to go in the half. The kick is up, and the kick is no good, wide to the right. And that is the end of the first half. And after the first 30 minutes of play, it's been quite a half of football. It's UCLA 7 and Iowa 7. Up right now on the 40-yard line. 7-7 as we go for the second half of play, and there's number 26, Norm Granger, and there you see Norm Johnson getting set to kick off. And the second half is underway. Don't go away. It's going to be a dandy. It's going to be Bugs at the 4-yard line, looking for the wedge at the 5, 10, 15, hit, and down he goes by Larry Thomas at the 19-yard line. Nice job by the Bruin number 20 against the Hawkeye number 20. And as play from scrimmage of the second half. Gales into the center. Dave Oakes. Handoff to number 26, and met at the line of scrimmage is Norm Granger, and Granger, as you can see, pulling a couple of Bruin tacklers, Glenn Wyndham and Ron Butler, up to the 14-yard line. So second effort by Norm Granger, a sophomore, 6'1", 205 from Newark, New Jersey. Got some extra yards.
So significant change on that first down play. UCLA had 4 defensive linemen in the game. Now Mark Ferguson went out, and they brought in another linebacker.
It's going to be Blanchard Montgomery, Ron Butler inside, Wyndham and Ike Gordon outside. And off. Oh, look at that big hole. Number 28, Phil Blatcher, and he gets up to the 30-yard line. And a big first down for the Hawkeyes. What a hole that was.
Big hole. You'll see here that Blatcher's going to come right behind the blocks of his left side. There's Irv Eatman getting moved out, and here comes Ike Gordon coming after him. Gordon just allowing a little bit too much space there between him and Eatman, and that caused the big hole.
Ike Gordon and Donnie Rogers made the stop. First down for Iowa at the 29-yard line. Gales back to Blanchard. And Blatcher gets up to the 29, and not much more. Hit right at the line of scrimmage. Ronnie Butler getting up off the bottom of the pile, along with number 92, Ike Gordon. Butler, the inside left linebacker. Ike Gordon, 92, the outside right linebacker.
You see a great play by Gordon, fighting off Granger, the fullback, and then here comes Ronnie Butler over to polish it off. Great play defensively, Gordon and Butler.
They give him about a half yard, call it 1. Second down 9 from the 30. Score tied 7-7 with 13:26 left to go in the third quarter. Lon Olenczak split out to the right side. Play action fake, end around to the wide receiver. That's 27, Jeff Brown. Brown gets up to the 34 before Jimmy Turner, along with number 87, Glenn Wyndham, made the stop. Nice reaction by the Bruin defense.
Right, Joe. You know, UCLA had a stunt on that time. You'll see Glenn Wyndham. See him coming upfield real quick right here. That's a stunt. He's usually waiting back, and that gave the Hawkeyes the opportunity to get outside real quick. Jeff Brown carrying the ball on the reverse play. Perfect call, though, for the offense against that type of defense.
And Donnie Rogers came up to get Brown by the ankles. He was assisted by a couple of other Bruins. And it's 3rd down and just about 7 yards to go. Gales to throw. Complete to number 25. Ivory Webb, newly inserted into the ball game, and the Hawkeyes are at the 48-yard line. Another 1st down.
Joe, just a man-to-man coverage. Webb against Walter Lang, and Lang does a good job staying right there with him, but there was no other help underneath, and it's really tough to cover a guy one-on-one, and 1st down for the Hawkeyes.
On the 48-yard line. And off to the tailback. Big hole up the middle of that Bruin defense. And Blatcher goes to the 40-yard line for another 1st down.
Well, the Hawkeye offensive line looking very strong. Here's Blatcher zooming up right through the middle of the heart of UCLA defense. UCLA once again with 4 defensive linemen in the game there. Mark Ferguson along with the other 3.
The Bruins in deep trouble now. The Hawkeyes are at the 40-yard line and marching almost at will wherever they go. 1st down. Blatcher again, and there he goes up the middle again. And this time he gets 6 yards. Inside the 35 to the 33, give him 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd down 3 for Iowa. Blanchard Montgomery, 27, and number 32, the strong safety Tom Sullivan, made the stop.
Big splits in that line for the Hawkeyes, creating holes in the UCLA defense. UCLA is going to need to stunt and start creating some problems for the offensive line of the Hawkeyes if they're going to be able to stop them.
2nd down and 3. Iowa has the ball at the UCLA 33-yard line. And they also have the momentum, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
Play action fake. Gale's going to keep the ball at the 35, the 30, 25, cuts inside and is hit by Jimmy Turner at the 22-yard line. But another Iowa 1st down. And we have an injury on the field. We have a couple of them. Lon Olenzak, number 88. And it looks like number 27, Blanchard Montgomery. It is. Here's a replay.
Here's another look at Gales. He's on a sprint out. He's looking for that pattern that they threw to the other side of the field, and Gales here pointing, and you're going to see him. He's going to get hit pretty good right there by Jimmy Turner, and then Blanchard Montgomery runs over the play, and I think he might have twisted something.
Well,
but you can see
Olenzak, number 88, they already have the stretcher on the field for him.
UCLA Athletics and make an investment in the future by joining Sportsmen of the South. This is your chance to be a member of the Bruin team and help ensure UCLA's continued athletic success. For details, contact the UCLA Athletic Department at 206-6788.
1st down for the Hawkeyes. And they get it down, I think right at the line of scrimmage they were stopped. Carl Morgan getting up off the bottom of the pile, and here it is.
Here's another look at it. Morgan does a great job defeating the center and then slanting towards the play, and I think that's what UCLA is going to have to do to break up the offensive blocking pattern for the Hawkeyes.
Number 81, Gene Mewborn, has replaced Montgomery at left inside linebacker. 2nd down and 10 for Iowa at the UCLA 21. That is number 28, Phil Blatcher, the senior from New Orleans. And he busts across the 20 down right around the 18-yard line.
Joe, the tackle that play was made by Tom Sullivan coming up from his safety position. It appears both UCLA safeties now creeping closer to the line of scrimmage, seeing that the tackles aren't being made by the linebackers and the linemen, and this is going to open up the passing game a little bit for the Hawkeyes.
Oh, a gain of 4 yards that time. 3rd down 6 coming up for the Hawkeyes. They are at the 17-yard line or close to it. Gale's calling signals. Drop straight back. He passes knocked down. Irv Eatman and number 40, Carl Morgan, did a fine job to knock that pass of Gale's down. 4th down 6 coming up.
You know, that injury timeout, I think, really slowed the Hawkeyes down. They had a real good momentum going into it, and these last 3 plays, they seem to stop a little bit. Here you see Gales pulling out real quickly. You see the big rush there of Gene Mewborn, but it's really Irv Eatman going over the top to make the block, and that's the way Irv needs to play to help that UCLA defense out.
And quarterback Pete Gales comes limping off the field. We're going to have a try for a field goal by number 3, Tom Nickel. The ball will be placed at the 25-yard line. It'll be a 35-yard attempt for the lead in this ball game. Last one he tried, he missed. This one is up, and it is good. 9 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Iowa takes the lead. They have 10. UCLA has 7.
Had much so far.
They haven't had any offense at all. There's only one storm front they're concerned about now is the black shirts on the defensive line of Iowa. They cannot handle those people. All right, here we go. Nickel will kick off. He just gave the Hawkeyes the lead. It's 10-7. And the kickoff going to JoJo Townsell, 7 yards, 8 yards deep in his own end zone. He'll not run it out.
National Lumber, the stores with the good stuff at the right price. Pick up on National Lumber's TV specials. You'll get your money's worth and then some. Look in the white pages for the National Lumber nearest you.
The Bruin offense will operate against the wind in this third quarter. They're at the 20 with a first down, 10-yard to gain situation. Terry Moorhead. Nowhere to go. Number 59, Dave Brown. Number 63, Mark Bortz. And number 58, Pat Dean combine on the stop. And we have another injured Bruin on the field. It's number 68, Blake Wingle, the left guard. Ramsey to Terry Moorhead, trying to get him some running room, and there's none there. Well, I tell you what, Iowa's defense is reacting so quickly. Bobby Stoops, number 41, and linebacker Mel Cole, number 31. Watch this one now.
It's just an outlet pass to Moorhead in the backfield. Moorhead trying to get upfield. He's trying to juke Stoops here. Stoops won't go anywhere. He says, you can't run in place, and I'm going to go ahead and make the tackle. And Stoops comes up and keeps his eye on the waistline, which is what you need to do.
Bobby Stoops is the best tackler in the defensive backfield, according to Hayden Fry, and he proved it right there. Third down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Tim Reitman does not have enough for the first down. He gets up to the 27, and down he goes. Once again, the black shirts reacting very well and very quickly, and the Bruins are going to have to punt.
Listen to that crowd, Joe. There's another look at Ramsey scrambling around. He's got Reitman coming across the middle, and he runs into quite a few of the black jerseys. And right now, they're able to keep Reitman from getting the first down.
That is Tom's second completion of the day. He is now 2 of 6. Kevin Bunifay will punt. Back deep, number 27 for Iowa. That is Jeff Brown. Bunifay gets it away rather low and wobbly. It is taken by one of the up men at the 47-yard line. That's number 41, Bobby Stoops. And Iowa begins with tremendous field position. All right, Bohannon back in there at quarterback. He's the thrower. Go! On the option play, he keeps it himself, gets down to the Bruin 45-yard line. No, a gain of 8 yards for Bohannon. Second down and 2 coming up. Donnie Rogers, number 7, made the stop on number 11 right there.
Take another look at the option play. There's the belly series into the middle, and it's wide open. There, see Glenn Wyndham getting hooked right there, and the linebacker's not getting over to make the play, and he's into the secondary, and that's the key right now on the option for UCLA. Their outside and inside linebackers getting hooked.
Well, the linebacking spot was one of the suspect spots this year after losing all of them last year. Second down and 2. Blatcher, he's got the first down at the 35. He's all the way down to the UCLA 30. Phil Blatcher tackled finally by Walter Lang and Tom Sullivan.
There's another look at Blatcher getting a good block up in the middle there. You see Ronnie Butler chasing after him, but Tom Sullivan's going to come over to make the game-saving tackle there.
Blatcher had 22 yards on that carry. He now has 67 for the day. Phil Blatcher, speedy little tailback from New Orleans. But boy, has he got holes to run through. First down at the 30. 10-7 Iowa over the Bruins. 6:50 left to go in the third quarter. Bohannon missed by 1, and he's at the 25, down at the 22. He fumbled the ball. Let's see if the Bruins got it.
Bruins
recovered the fumble. So Bohannon, who tried to pass the ball, couldn't, was missed by 1 man in the backfield, got down to the 22 and fumbled the ball. And the Bruins get another break. How long can this go on without them showing something on offense?
That's a big break for UCLA. Officials could have termed that Bohannon was down, but we didn't have a good vantage point here, and it was a fumble, and UCLA was able to recover. Good hard hitting.
Second fumble the Bruins have recovered. The last one led to a touchdown. Let's see if this one will. They trail 10-7. First down at the 23. Ramsey 2 of 6 so far. Gonna throw. Got a man open. It's JoJo Townsend at the 40. He spun down at the 42. First down for UCLA. Bobby Stoops, number 41, a 6-foot junior from Youngstown, Ohio, made the stop.
What allows this is the good protection by the UCLA offensive line. You can see that Ramsey's got a lot of time to throw. Good up front protection, and Townsend's coming in between the two zones, between the linebackers and the defensive backs to make the reception.
6:20 left to go in the third quarter. UCLA trailing Iowa 10-7 from the 42-yard line with a first down. Dave Odie will snap the ball to Ramsey. He's back to throw. He's going long. Ricky Kaufman is there. The ball is intercepted but out of bounds. It was picked off by number 43, Lou King, but King was out of bounds when he caught the ball, and the pass goes incomplete and the clock is stopped. So the Bruins have not been able to run, and now they try and pass on the Hawkeyes.
There's another look at Ramsey trying to go and get it in between the seam of the cornerback and the safety, and that's the cornerback King, who's waiting back for the pass.
Second down and 10 from the 42. Flag on the play across the way. Man open on the far sideline, but the pass is underthrown again. And it is intercepted at the 32-yard line by number 32, linebacker James Erb. The pass intended for tight end Tim Reitman, but there's a flag in the backfield of UCLA, so hang on. That pass by Ramsey badly underthrown, and Reitman was open quite a bit.
Here's Ramsey scrambling around. He had to throw the ball a long ways downfield, and you see Reitman trying to come back for the ball. He's able to trip up the interceptor, and that's James Erb, but Ramsey really trying to squeak that ball in about 30 to 40 yards down the field and throw between defenders. Very difficult pass.
And he's thrown against the wind. That was illegal procedure against the Bruins on the flag, by the way, declined by Iowa. They have the football back once again, and they're going to try and regain the momentum they had a couple of moments ago before they fumbled. 5 minutes, 56 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Iowa 10, UCLA 7. Bohannon back at quarterback. Dave Oakes the center. 86 is Mike Hufford, tight end to the left side. This is Phil Blatcher. Blatcher running all day long on the Bruins, does it again. He gets across the 40 to the 43-yard line, and that is 11 yards and an Iowa first down. Either they can't tackle him or the Hawkeyes are opening up some humongous holes on the right side.
Well, there you see Neil Delicano, the linebacker, getting pushed over, and a lot of separation between the linebacker and the tackle, creating a big hole, and that's where Blatcher's running through.
Well, first down for Iowa as they continue to march up and down on the Bruins. However, they only have 10 points, but right now that's enough to lead UCLA 10-7. First down at the 43-yard line. It's Blatcher again. No, check it. It's fullback Norm Granger, number 26. And Granger got across the 45, down at the 47. A gain of 4 yards. Second down, 6 coming up. Glenn Wyndham, number 87. There to make the stop. Glenn, a 6'2 senior from Long Beach, California, weighs in at 220 pounds. Second down and 6 for Iowa. They're at their own 47-yard line. Quarterback draw. And it's Bohannon into Bruin territory at the 47. So a gain of 5 yards for the quarterback, and that'll be very close to the first down. Back referee Glenn Findon was going to measure for the first down, I believe. We understand now that starting quarterback Pete Gales of Iowa has a hip injury, probably a hip point, and will not play anymore today. At least he's not expected to. Oh, there's the measurement with Glenn Fortin, and he shows that the Hawkeyes are inches shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and inches. 4:35 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Iowa 10, UCLA 7. And so far the Hawkeyes able to drive on the Bruins every time they've had the ball. The only way UCLA has gotten it is through an error, fumble, interception, something like that. Third down and inches. Oh, to the fullback, Norm Granger, and he falls forward, which might have got him the first down. Good hit, though, at the line of scrimmage. Neil Delacono, number 39, along with Carl Morgan, number 40, made the stop, and quite a hit it was.
You see Morgan slipping his block and getting in to make the tackle on Granger, but appears to be a first down. They're going to take a measurement anyway, and I think the measurement for the Hawkeyes is going to be for the first down, and it's going to create a little stir here in the bleachers.
4 minutes, 27 seconds left to go. First down, Hawkeye. 4:27 left to go in the 3rd quarter. We have a lot of football left.
So this is a big series, though, for UCLA and for the Hawkeyes. If they can get in on the board with 6 points, the Hawkeyes, it'd be a big, big thing for UCLA to be able to come back with not generating any offense to this point.
All right, first down at the Bruin 46. Oh, there's some defense for you. Number 28, Phil Blatcher, nailed in the backfield by a couple of Bruins. Ronnie Butler there, along with 32, Tom Sullivan, and Carl Morgan, number 40. Watch this hit.
You see what's happening here now is UCLA starting to stun on defense. You can see Eatman coming to the outside, the linebacker coming inside, what you might call a jet stunt or an ox stunt, and that's creating a problem for the offensive line to block, and that's why they were freed up to make the tackle.
Loss of a yard and a half, second down and 11.5 yards to go. 3:40 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Iowa 10, UCLA 7. Joe Butita along with Rob Scribner live from Iowa City. Draw play to Blatcher at the 45, the 40, and fumbles the ball. They ruled he was down, I believe. And he looked like he was. And it's going to be close to a first down, but I think he's about a yard shy. So the Bruins almost caused another turnover.
Big hole created here by the defensive tackle rushing to the inside, linebacker rushing to the outside, and that's just where you want to run your draw play. Now, it looks like he has his knee down on the ground before he fumbles, and so it's ruled that Blatcher was down. His knee was down, touching the ground before the fumble occurred.
Good call by the officials. 3rd down and 2 yards to go for Iowa. They are at the UCLA 38-yard line. 10-7, they lead the Bruins. It is the fullback, and look at him go to the 30-yard line. Norm Granger gets all the way down to the Bruin 27. And another first down. Walter Lang, number 2, and Jimmy Turner made the stop.
I think that's Blatcher once again, Joe, and he's coming off the right side, and that UCLA left side of its defensive line has been successful for the Hawkeyes all day.
Well, they certainly have, as Blatcher's been running with wild abandon through those holes, and that gets him a few extra yards when he's hit. And he does drag tacklers forward. So Iowa now at the UCLA 27 with 4 more downs. Bohannon at the 20 and down at the 17-yard line. So no matter who runs with the football, as long as he has a black shirt, he picks up big yardage. Neil Denocono, a freshman from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, number 39, in on the tackle, along with Jimmy Turner.
Where's the counter option play? You see Ron Butler there going for the halfback into the middle, and that play was very successful against UCLA when they played Wisconsin week prior.
1 minute 40 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 10-7 Iowa over the Bruins. And Iowa now knocking on the Bruin door once again. They're at the 17-yard line with a 2nd down 1 situation. It is Granger, the fullback, and he gets near the 16. That should be enough for another first down. And it is. Glenn Wyndham and Don Rogers made the stop. And there you see some of the local gentry. Boy, they're having a time today. They came in looking for an upset, and they are in the process of manufacturing an upset.
At this point, Coach Hayden Fry just wants his ball carriers to hold on to the ball.
Oh, yeah. First down at the Bruins' 15.5-yard line. Bohannon to the fullback, Norm Granger. And Granger, just a sophomore from Newark, New Jersey, gets across the 15 to the 14 for a gain of 2. So Granger, just a kid. In fact, in his senior year in high school, he ran for 1,900 yards and 13 touchdowns. That's Granger, the fullback. The man who's been hurting the Bruins has been Phil Blatcher, the tailback, but he's getting tremendous support from his offensive line. They've opened up monstrous holes in that Bruin defense. All right, a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 coming up for Iowa. Just inside the Bruin 15 at the 14-yard line. 21 seconds left to go in the third quarter. We get a flag on the play. And Carl Morgan, the nose guard, jumped offside. Apparently, it'll be encroachment, illegal procedure against the Bruins. That is an automatic 5. So as it was 2nd down and 8, it is now 2nd down and 3. And now the Bruin defense really up against it. Iowa leads 10-7 with 9 seconds left to go in the third quarter. This will be the final play of the third quarter with 3 seconds to go. It is Blatcher, and he dives into that pile of humanity down near the 7-yard line, and maybe short of the first down. We'll have to wait and see. Irv Eatman, number 75 there, as the third quarter comes to an end. And after 3 quarters of play, the score remains Iowa 10, UCLA 7. Yard line. Gordy Bohannon will call the signals. Gives it to Blatcher. He is down by the 5, and he probably has enough for the first down. Gene Mewborn, along with Ronnie Butler there to make the stop. And on the bottom of the pile, number 40, Carl Morgan. But first down, Iowa.
You see another look at Blatcher coming right off the right side, and we've talked about it all day. UCLA left defensive side does a good job stopping it up, but not soon enough. Blatcher's got enough for the first down, and the Hawks are on their way.
They have a 1st and goal at the Bruin 5-yard line. UCLA's got it, I believe. A fumble by Blatcher as he dove into that line. It is recovered, I believe, by UCLA. The Bruin defense did it again on a mistake by Blatcher. Why he dived into that mass of humanity, I'll never know. He didn't need the yardage. He wasn't going for a first down. He had a 1st and goal from the 5, and he dived in the air. The ball was exposed, and it was knocked loose to be recovered once again by Martin Moss, number 55.
What a big play, Joe, for the Hawkeyes. They came out in a power I formation. The first time we've seen that formation all day. Blatcher trying to go over the top. Fumbles. UCLA recovers. Destiny seems to be on UCLA's side.
Boy, they're getting every break in the book right now, but they can't put anything together offensively. 1st and 10 from the 3-yard line. Ramsey with his backs in the end zone. Ramsey's going to throw. Got a man open over here. It is knocked out of the way by Lou King. What a marvelous play by left cornerback Lou King, number 43. The intended receiver was number 36, Ricky Kaufman.
Joe King had Kaufman covered like a blanket. They weren't fooled at all by passing on the 4-yard line.
Well, again, we're talking about the Big Ten's top defensive backfield. #1 defensive backfield in Iowa. And so far, the Bruins know it. 2nd down and 10 from the 3 or maybe the 4 from the 4-yard line. Terry Moorhead up to the 5, and that's it. He gets a yard and no more. Pat Dean, number 58, that talented nose guard, all Big Ten year ago, made the stop. Gain of 1, 3rd down 9 coming up. JoJo Townsell comes out to the right side. Ricky Kaufman goes to the left side. 3rd down and 9 for UCLA at their own 5-yard line. 13:45 left to go in the ball game. Ramsey in his own end zone. He fumbles the ball. The Bruins have it. Then they lose it. I believe Iowa has recovered for a touchdown. Number 63, Mark Borch, recovered the fumble for a touchdown. Ramsey has nowhere to go and nowhere to throw. And rather than giving up 2 points, the Bruins give up 6.
Well, it wouldn't have been too bad if UCLA had given up a safety in this particular situation, because they could have just punted it from there, and being 5 points behind is a lot different than 10. Here's Ramsey fumbling right there. I don't think he was trying to fumble. Bruno should have probably fallen on the ball there.
Well, of course he wasn't trying to fumble. But Iowa scores on another Bruin mistake on offense, and they've made a bushel full of them today. Right now it's 16-7 Iowa, and Nickel in to try the extra point. Tom Nickel, number 3, as the opportunistic Hawkeyes take a big lead in this ball game against the Bruin offense that is going nowhere. 13:37 left to go in the game, and here's Nickel's try out of the hold of Gordy Bohannon. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 13:37 left to go in the ball game. It is Iowa 17, UCLA 7.
A lot of these teams in the Big Ten, they come back in and upset, just like the Big 8.
Tom Nickel will kick it off from the 40. Willie Curran and JoJo Townsell with their heels on the goal line to receive. It's going to be Townsell at the 7-yard line, looking for the wedge at the 20, 25, pushed from behind by Curran, and down he goes at the 27-yard line. Tackle made by number 77, George Little of Iowa, and the Bruins have a long way to go and a lot to catch up on. "22-yard return by Townsell. First down, 10 yards to gain for the Bruins at their own 28-yard line. Kaufman to the left. Tim Reitman, the tight end, set to the right side. And JoJo Townsell is slot back to the left. He's in motion to the near sideline. Ramsey calling signals. Back to throw, Tom Ramsey. It's complete to Townsell with a circus catch at the 50-yard line. The ball thrown behind JoJo, and on a dead run, he had to turn around and catch it. Nice job by Townsell.
So Townsell's running a flag pattern, and the defense for the Hawkeyes is one of those defenses where the safeties are covering half of the field each one. And so Stoops, who was the safety coming over there, 41, didn't have an opportunity. It was a perfect pattern to throw into that defense.
So the Bruins have some breathing room now at the 50-yard line. First big pass of the day for Tom Ramsey. He's throwing with the wind this quarter. Draw play to Frank Bruno, and he runs into number 58, Pat Dean, who turns him back into the other black-shirted teammates. And Bruno picks up a yard to the 49 in Iowa territory. Pat Dean, number 58, as you see Bruno limp off the field, slightly limp off the field. He came in with a bad leg as well. And Frank Cephas, number 46, now in at fullback for UCLA. Now there are 4 wide receivers in this UCLA pattern. No tailback. Cephas is the fullback. He's the lone setback. Ramsey to throw. Going long for Willie Curran. Overthrown at the 5-yard line. And Ramsey decked by number 59, Dave Brown, in the backfield.
See the 1981 Toyota SR5 sports truck, the sports car of trucks, and get the feeling at your local Toyota dealer. Oh, what a feeling to drive a Toyota. Here's Ramsey's long pass to Willie Curran, just out of his reach. He's throwing with the wind. I kind of feel like Willie had an opportunity to run under that ball. He looked at it early, and then he gave up just a little bit too soon.
3rd down and 9 from the Iowa 49. It is 17-7 UCLA, or Iowa, in case you just joined us. A fumble on the snap, and it's recovered by the Bruins. Tom Ramsey falling on the bobble snap from center. He loses a yard, so 4th down and 10 coming up, and the Bruins are going to have to give it up again.
There's a look at Ramsey just falling on the ball in the exchange from center, and of course, you know, when you got that big Pat Dean coming over you, sometimes there's a little problem in the exchange to the quarterback.
Jeff Brown in single safety for Iowa, back at his own 10-yard line. Kevin Bunifay will punt, and he'll standing on his own 35. 11:55 left to go in the ball game. 17-7 Iowa. Bunifay gets this one away. A high kick, not much of a spiral, end over end. Brown calls for a fair catch and lets it go in the end zone, and Iowa's going to get it at the 20-yard line. So Iowa maintains the momentum. After a 50-yard kick by Bunifay, they'll have it at the 20-yard line with a 1st down and a 10-point lead. That's Blatcher, and he's down for a loss. Number 2, Walter Lang, the right cornerback, did his job beautifully that time, filled well on that option play, and got Blatcher down for a loss of a yard.
Here's a look at the belly option there. You see Ike Gordon going inside, but now he gets out to the quarterback, and that's what the outside backer needs to do, and that gives the opportunity to the cornerback who's coming up on his zone defense where he comes up to come in to make the tackle on the pitch man.
2nd down 11 for the Hawkeyes with 11:13 left to go in the ball game. Blatcher, the tailback, at the 20, at the 25, outside to the 30 before Tom Sullivan pushes him out of bounds, and that'll be very close to a Hawkeye 1st down.
You see here on the sweep, Blatcher does a good job, shows his great speed. Here you see Gene Mewborn trying to run through, and he wasn't able to. There's Joe Gary trying to get a run through, run behind the blockers to make the tackle, and they weren't able to do so, so it's a 1st down.
1st down, and Blatcher now has 94 yards on the day. 10:53 left to go in the ball game. The clock stopped with the out-of-bounds play. Iowa 17, UCLA 7. And a reminder that the Bruins come home for the first time next week against Colorado at the Coliseum. Rob and I will be there to bring all the action to you on KTLA Channel 5. And by the way, this game here will be replayed tonight on Channel 5 at 11 o'clock. So on this next play, it's Blatcher again, Blatcher, and he gets up to the 32-yard line for a gain of 2 more. He has 96 yards as Ron Butler, number 86, the left inside backer, makes the stop. Linebackers have gotten a lot of work today, Rob.
Sure have. The Hawks would like nothing else but to just run the clock down with a big, long drive here. UCLA must stop them if they want to be in the football game.
10:20 left to go in the ball game. It is 2nd down and 8 for Iowa. Blatcher with a vanguard of black shirts in front of him, and a nice tackle by Mike Durden up around the 32-yard line. That's right around the line of scrimmage. No gain for Blatcher, and a good job by number 29 right cornerback Mike Durden.
You'll see it looks like the sweep play is going to work there. Blatcher's breaking to the outside, makes a good cut right there, slows up a little bit, then Mike Durden comes up from his corner position to force the play and make the tackle.
Durden, a 6'1 junior from La Mesa, California. His dad, Ernell, coaches with the San Diego Chargers. 3rd down and 8 for Iowa. Big play here. 9:35 left to go in the ball game. Iowa with a 10-point lead over UCLA. End around. And it's number 27, Jeff Brown, who is just shy of the 1st down by about a yard. Tackled by Danny Lauder, number 43.
Here's another look at the reverse play. There you see Irv Eatman almost has an opportunity to tackle the quarterback. Number 27, Jeff Brown, coming around, and he's been a factor all day. Now it's 4th and short, and it looks like the Hawkeyes are thinking about going for it. Yeah, they are.
Why not? Everything else is going their way. By design, they've played a magnificent ball game, and they do have the momentum. There's no doubt about that.
This could be a big mistake, though, Joe.
Could be. We'll find out. 4th down and 1. 8:50 left to go in the ball game. 17-7, Iowa leading the Bruins. And here's that big 4th down play. Too much time, and they're going to be penalized 5 yards. Oh, my goodness. Referee Glenn Fortin blew the whistle, and he'll penalize him 5 yards. And Hayden Fry on the sideline is just going crazy.
That might have been a blessing for the Hawkeyes, because if they wouldn't have picked up that 1st down there, UCLA was in great field position.
So Tom Sullivan will drift back around his own 25, 30-yard line. He's in single safety for the Bruins. And Reggie Roby, the nation's #1 punter with an average of 54.1, is going to try and get off a boomer here. He had a 65-yarder earlier today. He's against the wind. Oh, almost blocked by Ike Gordon. There'll be a flag on the play for roughing the kicker, as Sullivan lets it go down at the 12 and out of bounds at the 12, but hang on. It's going to be roughing the kicker, I believe, against UCLA. We'll have to see in a moment. A 55-yard punt by Reggie Roby.
UCLA's #2 nationally ranked women's volleyball team has its home opener in Poly Pavilion next Thursday night, October 1st at 7:30 p.m. when the Bruins host #6 rated San Diego State. Call UCLA 101 for ticket information or to order your UCLA women's volleyball or basketball season tickets.
There's Terry Donahue just wondering what in the world's going on out there. That penalty against the Bruins will give the Hawkeyes a 1st down right smack at the 50-yard line. 8 minutes, 17 seconds left to go in the ball game. 17 Iowa, 7 UCLA. What an upset in the making. The Bruins rated 6th on one poll, 7th on another, and for some reason, the Sporting News had the Bruins as the #1 team in the nation this week.
Joe, every time they get close to that #1, they get knocked off by a lowly ranked team.
1st down for Iowa. Bohannon wide open at the 40, 35, 30, 25-yard line, and out of bounds he goes. Oh, my goodness. 25 yards and a 1st down for the Hawkeyes, and Bohannon uncovered, untouched.
Here's that belly series, and there the linebacker gets sucked in. Now, Bohannon does a great job on this run. Instead of going out of bounds, watch, he stays in bounds there so that when they get the clock's running right again, and that's what they want to do, is run out that clock. Great job by Bohannon, the quarterback.
He now has 59 yards rushing, Bohannon does. Blatcher, his tailback, has 96. And now we get a timeout called as the ball blew away. Well, the clock stopped with 7:56 left to go in the ball game. Iowa 17, UCLA 7. And Bohannon, smart play there. He's going to re-huddle the Hawkeyes on that whistle by the officials. There's a sign of a poised quarterback. Bohannon, a 6'2 senior from Eagle Rock, California. He went to South Pasadena High School. So you know what kind of a feeling he has in beating his hometown chums.
On TV, live.
Number 11, Gordy Bohannon from South Pasadena High School. Boy, he's playing up a storm. Diving through the air, coming down at the 17-yard line is Blatcher, but there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage. Gene Mewborn, number 81, made the stop for UCLA.
It's in that area where you would think it would probably be holding.
And it is. Holding on the Hawkeyes. So the clock is stopped with 7 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. Iowa 17, UCLA 7. And the only reason the Bruins have 7 is because they recovered an Iowa fumble back in the 20-yard line in the second quarter. Martin Moss caused the fumble, recovered the ball, and a couple of plays later, Tom Ramsey barely got it in from the 3-inch line. So the Bruin offense has been null and void this afternoon. The Bruin defense has done a pretty good job.
That's right, Joe. The lack of offense has been the difference.
And defense has been on the field a long time. So the penalty puts the ball back at the 37-yard line. It's going to be 1st down and 22 yards to go. Statue of Liberty play to Blatcher. He's at the 35, tiptoeing his way to the 34, and out of bounds he goes. Walter Lang, number 2, made the stop over there, along with left tackle Martin Moss, number 55. Now it's going to be second down and just about 17 yards to go for Iowa. Clock stopped on the out-of-bounds play with 7 minutes and 20 seconds showing.
Coach is signaling to Blatcher that they want to try to keep their ball carriers inbound so that clock keeps running.
All right, from the 28-yard line, second down and 17 yards to go for Iowa. Play action fake. Bohannon is missed by Moss. Throws out of bounds. The intended receiver, number 25, Ivory Webb. Third down now and 18 yards to go. 7 minutes, 14 seconds left to go in the ball game. Iowa over UCLA 17-7. Bohannon caught from behind by Moss and then piled upon by 3 or 4 other Bruins. Lying there on the ground, 35, Jimmy Turner, 86, Ron Butler, Carl Morgan, and Glenn Wyndham. So fourth down coming up, fourth and about 11. And Tom Nickel to try the field goal. He missed one today and made one today. In fact, his field goal gave him a touchdown. Gave him 3 points, I should say, back in the third quarter. This one will be placed at the 33-yard line, 43-yard attempt. Bohannon will hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 6 minutes and 24 seconds left to go in the ball game. Iowa has 20, the UCLA Bruins 7. Here comes the kickoff from Mike Nickel. Uh-oh. Iowa may get it back. No, it's UCLA's ball, at least according to one official who was knocked down, although Iowa came up with it. So hang on, we have to get an official ruling from referee Glenn Fortin. And one official who signaled UCLA ball was knocked down, and there you see him. The ball came banging off the leg of one Bruin. Iowa recovered.
Take another look at it. You'll see here, I don't think the ball went 10 yards. I think that's what they're saying. But if it does make contact with the opposing player, then you can recover it. And that's exactly what happened.
It made contact with the leg of Harper Howell, number 97, Zane Corbin, number 47 of Iowa. Come the Hawkeyes. 6 minutes, 22 seconds left to go in the ball game. Bohannon to the first man through. Fullback Norm Granger, and he's still going. And the official gets knocked down again. I'll be doggone. The same guy who got knocked down on the kickoff just got knocked down again. But this time he's up and he's all right, apparently. Oh, he's having a tough day. He probably feels like Terry Donahue right about now. Donnie Rogers and Glenn Wyndham made the stop on Granger. But he picks up 6 yards. It's going to be second down and 4 from the 41. Ivory Webb comes out to the left side, and it is Jeff Brown split wide to the right side. Second down and 4 from the 41. Bohannon calling signals, turns around, gives it to Granger, the fullback, and he's stopped at the 40, leans forward to the 39, might have picked up a yard, perhaps 2. Number 87, left outside linebacker Glenn Wyndham there for the stop. And the clock running, of course, with 5:20 left to go in the ball game. The Hawkeyes eating up yards, getting first downs when they need them. And this place is going to erupt if they can hang on to that lead and upset the 6th-ranked UCLA Bruins.
Joe, there's nobody leaving the stadium.
No, sir. All right, here we go. Exactly 5 minutes to go, and it's third down about a yard for the Hawkeyes at the Bruin 39. It's Blatcher, and he's shy of the first down by about a foot, I think. Now, he had forward motion up around the 47-yard line, 48-yard line, which is where he had to get for the first down. So, hang on. I'm certain they're going to have to measure.
Well, the official on the far side's marking the ball. Looks like it about first down territory.
It's pretty. The Hawkeyes are totally in command at this point. First down from the 38-yard line. Option play, Bally option series. And the quarterback, Gordy Bohannon, gets to the 35 for a gain of 3. Ron Butler, number 86, and number 87, Glenn Wyndham, the 2 linebackers on that left side, made the stop. But Bohannon, a senior from Eagle Rock, California, and South Pasadena High School, about to take some of the credit for this upset of UCLA, the guys back home. All right, number 80, Dave Strobel, out to the left side, and number 25, Ivory Webb, split wide to the right. Second down, about 8 yards to go for the Hawkeyes. They're at the Bruin 35-yard line, and we get a flag, and we're going to get, what, too much time?
Probably a delay of the game. He's really trying to...
Ball now at the 40-yard line with second down, about 14 to go. Clock running with 3:35 left to go in the ball game. Blatcher, hit by Wyndham, gets away from Wyndham and picks up 3 yards to the 37-yard line. Part of the Bruin problem this afternoon, a lot of arm tackles with the linebackers. Jimmy Turner and Joe Gary. Gary, number 53, Turner, number 35. Made the stop, but a gain of 2 yards for Phil Blatcher, number 28, the Iowa tailback.
So I think one of the keys to today's game was the Hawkeye defense and their scheme that they had planned to come against UCLA offense. A lot of jumping around, a lot of stunning, doing a lot of different things to the UCLA offense, and they never really were able to pick it up.
We are inside 3 minutes now. 2:55 left to go in the ball game. Fumble, and how do you like that? Iowa gets it back. Everything going wrong for UCLA right now. And a timeout being called by the Bruins.
A little mix-up in the handoff, and there's...
Tom Nickel punting for Iowa. Tom Sullivan called for a fair catch and made it at the 17-yard line. So the Bruins, with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the ball game, have perhaps one last desperate effort as the Iowa team gets a big round of applause coming off the field, and boy, do they deserve it. They've played a tremendous football game. All right, here come the Bruins now from the 17. First down, 10 yards to gain. Willie Curran split to the left side. And Mike Young to the right side. Steve Bono, the quarterback. In and out of the hands of that Bruin receiver. And that was Ricky Kaufman, right around the 25-yard line. Keep in mind also that the Bruins, just to be fair, the Bruins have been operating without Cormac Carney, their #1 wide receiver, and without starting tailback Kevin Nelson. They were not supposed to play. They have not played, and that had to weaken the Bruin offense just a bit. But to the credit of the Iowa defense, they haven't given the Bruin offense much time to formalize anything. Ramsey's been under pressure all day long. And the last time he was under pressure, he fumbled in the end zone, and Iowa recovered for the touchdown. Second down and 10. Bono in trouble, and down he goes. Number 93, Brian Stratus, made the stop. A 6'2 senior from Omaha, Nebraska. And the siege continues. A loss of 3 yards. It's going to be third down, 13 for UCLA with the clock running with 2:05 left to go.
Here's a look at Bono. He gets a short drop, and Strata, who's been blocked, gets up off his block and makes the tackle. Of course, everything, like you said, Joe's going right for the Hawkeyes, but Bono's got to get a little bit deeper than that on his drop.
So third down and 14 yards to go for UCLA. 1:49 left to go in the ball game. Bono back to throw. Got a man open. JoJo Townsend at the 20, 25, and out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Just perhaps enough for the first down. We'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be real close. Here's Bono back to pass, and this is one of the great things that UCLA sees in Steve Bono, is that he's able to get the ball away quickly here to JoJo Townsend. A little out pattern. See if they're able to pick up the first down.
Our statistician just gave us a remarkable figure. The Bruins have 25 yards rushing this afternoon. Holy mackerel.
Makes a big difference when your #1 running back is out, and that was Kevin Nelson.
Yeah, but Moorhead's not that bad. He just had no place to run.
That's true.
Iowa defense just shut the Bruin offense down. 1:42 left to go in the ball game. The Bruins shy of the first down by the length of one of my cigars. I smoke short cigars.
I was going to say that's a pretty long cigar.
Iowa 20, UCLA 7. The Bruins home next week to Colorado at the Coliseum. Their Coliseum debut in 1981. All right, second down. Now it's going to be, should be fourth down. Says second down on the sticks across the way. Fourth down and inches. Matter of pride for UCLA here. Bono, he's got the first down at the 30, 35, and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Tracy Crocker, right cornerback, number 46, and number 10, strong safety Jimmy Frazier made the stop. And the clock stopped with 1:33 left to go in the ball game. Iowa 20, UCLA 7. All right, here come the Bruins with a first down at the 35.5-yard line. Bono to JoJo Townsell, and JoJo gets up to the 45 for a gain of 9. Todd Simonson, number 37, the left linebacker, a 6'3 senior from Racine, Wisconsin. All Big Ten honorable mention a year ago. Made the stop at second down and 1 for UCLA as they hurry up to get into their offense. Bono again, and this one's intercepted by number 43, Louis King. And he's back to the 48 and slips down he goes. So the Iowa defense right up until the very last moment, giving fits to the Bruin offense.
There's the tip right through Willie Curran's hands. Intercepted by number 43, Luke King, who's had a great game, playing a little bit of safety, a little bit of corner, and covering the deep part of the field there. Willie Curran was open, ball was thrown hard, but Curran had an opportunity to catch it.
So with 1 minute and 1 second left to go, that should about do it. As the Iowa offense comes out, and Bohannon's still at quarterback. He's going to finish up this game. He didn't begin the game. Pete Gales began it, and Gales scored the first touchdown way back in the first quarter. And that was simply an omen of things to come. Handoff up the middle to number 33 of the Hawkeyes. That is Owen Gill. Neil Delacono, number 39, the right outside linebacker, made the stop for the Bruins with 49 seconds left to go, and timeout called by UCLA. And with timeout on the field, 49 seconds to go, the score remains Iowa 20, UCLA 7. 59 is offensive right guard behind them. Been a long weekend for UCLA. Injuries from last week's Wisconsin game, a long week of practice, rain here in Iowa. No excuses, just the facts. They've just gotten beaten by a better ball club today, and the Hawkeyes have proved it. 42 seconds left to go. Another timeout call. Bohannon comes over.
Came back up to the booth. I saw those goalposts that have been torn down, and it was.
You know, they cost $4,000 apiece.
Wow.
And there was over $10,000 damage done after the Nebraska game. I wonder what they'll do today. Bohannon keeps the ball across the 45 down to the Bruin 44. Mark Ferguson, number 50, a 6'2 junior from Santa Ana, made the stop. And the clock running with 30 seconds left to go. Once again, a reminder, Rob and I will be at the Coliseum next Saturday when the Bruins host the University of Colorado. Bohannon came running over to the sideline. Now you see him scurrying back to the huddle with 15 seconds left to go, and they may get a delay of game penalty here, but that'll be moot. 10 seconds left to go, and the crowd counting it down, and the crowd now in the end zone, and they're ripping down the goalpost. If our camera can pick that up after this play, you'll see it. That's the end of the ball game. The final score, as the goalposts are already down in the south end zone, and here they come in the north end zone. The final score, Iowa 20, UCLA 7.